Hi, it's Sylvia with Worsham. Welcome to Focus Fridays. Today's focus is about personal journeys. I felt compelled to discuss how I got to be a founding growth leader with Growth U. It was something I had been imagining for a while, a collaboration between myself and Roddy Harrison, the founder and CEO of Growth U. And it manifested itself into this very brilliant, beautiful story. But my journey and how I got to be a founding growth leader is absolutely amazing, and I wanted to share it with you today. About a year and a half ago, I found myself in a very particular situation, relationship-wise. I had already failed at one marriage. I was in my second marriage, and I was having a lot of trouble with it. And after a very bad fight with my husband, whom I adore, I walked out of our home and walked to a park bench adjacent to our neighborhood and sat on it. And I remember looking up at the brilliant blue sky and asking God to help me. In fact, begging him at that point. It was evident to me that I was living life my way and not God's way. And I was submitting to his purpose for my life. And it was a very big step for me because the word submission had always meant a sign of weakness to me. But I was at a crossroads and a turning point in my life, and I really needed his help, and I really wanted to align with God and God's purpose for my life. This was on Monday afternoon. On Saturday, I was with my church group of ladies, and after everyone left, for whatever reason, I broke down crying with one of them. And after I was able to catch my breath, she told me simply, "This worked in my marriage for a while, it might help you." She said, "Submit to his wants and needs, to your husband's wants and needs." Now, again, submission was a sign of weakness. I came from a Mexican household, and I saw how my mother submitted to my very dominant father. And I swore as a young child that I would never do that with any man. But in that moment, for whatever reason, I felt open to the idea. That was Saturday afternoon. Sunday early morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up suddenly. And I felt compelled to open up my Bible. Now, my Bible is a leadership Bible by John Maxwell. And what John has done is he's pulled out all the leadership examples before every chapter of the Bible. Well, I had every intention of going to the book of Jeremiah for whatever reason. But my hand fell on a particular page and I started to read out of curiosity. And John was talking about the law of connection, and he was referencing Abigail. Abigail was a very smart woman that was married to a very arrogant man who had infuriated King David. And King David, because he was so furious, wanted to come in and slaughter Abigail's house. But one of the servants told Abigail about his plan, and so Abigail gathered all her fine clothes and food and went and with genuine humility submitted to gain David's favor. And when I read the word submission, I felt the power of the Holy Spirit all around me. And in that moment, I asked God, "Is this what you want me to do? Is this what you're commanding me to do?" And the word yes started to pop up in my head. Okay? And at the time, I had been researching coaches, because as a coach with the John Maxwell team, they highly encourage us to be coached ourselves, to be the best coaches, to our customers as possible. So in that moment, I started to see the face of one particular coach I had been researching. And I asked God, "Is this who I'm meant to work with?" And the word yes. Now, Michelle, who is my coach, was already associated with as a founding growth leader with Growth U as well, and worked in collaboration with Roddy Harrison, and got me introduced to a program called Transform U 45-Day Challenge. At the time, that's what it was called. Now it's called Transform U 45 Days to Successful Habits. And I remember starting the program, and I was so encouraged because I wanted my marriage to work out, and this is the reason why my purpose was so compelling. I was doing this for my kids. I was doing this for me. I had a very negative mindset, and it was impacting my relationships in life. And so I started taking the program, and as I progressed through the program, I went through the cycles of growth. And that is amazing, because in anything, you've got to create the identity to achieve the vision that you first create. Your mind needs a target. So I created this beautiful vision, and in my vision, I wanted to enjoy the small moments in life. I wanted to smile like I meant it. I wanted to regret nothing. I wanted my relationships to be a partnership. I wanted to be a keynote speaker. So I created this big, beautiful vision on the 4 pillars of my life: career, relationships, mindset, and my health. And I started work on this program, and before long, after 45 days, I had transformed so significantly. I had become the person in my vision, and I had gotten the vision, right? I had transformed so dramatically that my husband was so inclined and so empowered that he too got coached, and he too went through the 45-day challenge. And our marriage has been so phenomenal because of it. Back to how I got to be founding growth leader. I started taking growth mastery with Roddy Hairston, and it transformed my life. It really did. He is a very empowering and coach who has helped me see things in a very different way, in a very new perspective of life. And almost a year into it, I started to imagine a collaboration with Roddy Hairston. When the opportunity came up that I too lived in Austin, Texas, he was so impressed with my stories and my vulnerability and just who I was that he said, you know what? We're going to allow her to come in and become a founding growth leader with our company, because he's the CEO and founder after all. And I had 3 people vouch for me, and they were just, they vouched for me. They said, she's amazing, she's incredible, you would lose out on her genius. And that's how I became a founding growth leader with Growth U. And it's an amazing story, but it's an amazing story of faith, belief, and trust. Faith that everything was going to work out, trust in God, faith in God, and belief in myself and in my vision, my very beautiful, bold vision of saving my marriage. So I hope this has helped you in some way, shape, or form. I love you guys. Stay strong. And whatever you're facing today, know that you're not alone. I'm here to empower you, and I'm focused on you. Thank you so much for listening today, and be well.